If you've been wanting to make a DIY sofa like this one, I want to show you my latest DIY. It's a 3-seater sofa that I recently made with my friend Jeff. I want to warn you about some things you'll definitely want to know before you get started. So make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that so you can get the latest on all kinds of gardening topics that will make your outdoor spaces awesome. To make it easy, I've made this into 2 parts. It's going to be time-stamped in the description. Part 1 is the breakdown of the cost of all materials and everything. And part 2 is the DIY project how-to. So skip to the part that you want to watch. But I urge you to watch part 1 because it's going to help you decide whether you want to make it in the first place. I got my plans from another YouTuber named Anna White, and she makes really cool stuff. So this is a very, very easy project. At the time that she created this video, though, that was 5 years ago, she did not have to worry about the price of wood being so expensive like it is today. Recently, wood just skyrocketed in price, and I don't know if this is true all over the world, but here in the US, it's now 600% more expensive than usual. Where before wood was $2 for a piece of cheap pine wood, at the time of this recording, it's close to $11 per board. You're going to need 11 of these boards. If we do quick math, before that would have been $22. Now it's $121. That's just cheap wood. I'm not talking about cedar or anything fancy here. Another very expensive thing is the cushions. I mean, these things are so expensive. You will not believe how expensive. So if you already have cushions of your own, you're gonna be ahead of the game. If I had to do it all over again, I would really have gotten a great bargain on the cushions first, and then I would have decided what size I would have built. You can just adjust the size of the bottom to fit to the size of the cushions. This is what 25 by 25 inch cushions look like. And I wanted to show you that I ended up adding a board at the bottom on the back and on the side right here because I didn't want these to be shifting all over the place. So by adding that, it kind of does you know, make them snug and fit just right. Now here's another tip. If you already have cushions, but they have really bad covers, like they're already weathered, they're ugly, yucky, dirty, whatever, all you need to do is change the covers. I'm going to list the options in the description box of what you could do and how you could save a little bit of money if you just want to replace the covers or buy the filler. Let's do the breakdown of everything, okay, so you can see. The pine wood that I bought at Home Depot was $10.92, which totaled $120 with 12 cents. Box of screws, $11.58. Those are the decking screws. Then the Craig R3 Junior Pocket Hole Jig System was $29, and I highly recommend it, but it comes with its own screws, so you have to buy those. The 2.5-inch ones, 450 of them, was $4.98. If you need to buy a Craig clamp, it's $20.79, but I used a regular clamp and it worked just fine, so I didn't spend any there. And then the cushions that were at Allen & Roth from Lowe's ended up costing $59.98 per set, and I needed to buy 3 sets, so that was $179.94. Then I bought some stain because I wanted a special look, so I ended up spending $77. When I totaled everything that I actually did spend, it was $422.62. This might or might not be worth it, but either way, you have to decide, and it's all based on your specific circumstance, whether you have access to cheap wood, maybe you already have some, access to cheap cushions, maybe you already have some. All you need to do is change the cover. You want to customize a piece and it needs to be unique, etc., etc. This is the sofa that I wanted to match. This is the original one, and this is the one that I built. So this actually is a little bit longer than this one. These Allen & Roth cushions that I got feel pretty solid, and they have a zipper. And I like the fact that I'm able to wash these without having to mess the cushion part. If you have made anything like this before, or if you have any ideas of ways that you could save money, please put them in the comments below. I am sure someone else in the community would really appreciate that information. You are going to buy 11 pieces of wood that are 2 by 4 by 10. Then you're going to measure and cut the wood using straight cuts with a miter saw. Start by cutting 9 pieces that measure 72 inches, then cut 13 pieces that are 25.5 inches, and 2 pieces that are 28.5 inches. If you want to customize and make your sofa a different size, then simply change the dimensions, and those are listed in the description as well. You can then begin to assemble. You can use exterior self-tapping decking screws for the entire project. We used a hole jig to put together the backrest, but if you know how to use a hole jig, this will make everything look neater. To build your base, use 2 of the boards that measure 72 inches for the sides and 5 of the 25.5-inch boards. Make the arms using 3 boards that are 25.5 inches and 1 for the top arm that measures 28.5 inches. Turn a 2x4 sideways to add additional support at the bottom. You're going to attach the base and the arms together. Then you're going to deck it. Then you're going to add the backrest. This is where the cushions rest and your cat can have its catwalk. I'm going to go ahead and add Anna White's video. It's the original design, but there's a couple of things I would have done differently. I don't really like the messiness of this. Yes, you can use decking screws for the whole build, but you could make it look a little nicer with pocket holes in the front areas. In the back, you could probably still use decking screws. Last thing for me was to add my finish. I sanded it, and I wouldn't skip this step because you can clearly see the difference. I pre-stained it so that the wood wouldn't soak up the stain. I added a stain by Behr called Chocolate, but I thought it was too brown, so I went ahead and bought another one by Arbor Coat called Dragon's Breath, which has more gray in it. I added this several times until I got the desired look that looked like my wicker. I started with the wood being a little bit more brown and more translucent, but then I added more and more stain so that it could give me a darker look because I was really trying to match the wicker and I wanted it to feel like it was part of what was already there. I ended up staining these boxes that I got that were free. They used to be where cilantro came in from a restaurant, and that's where we store a lot of our stuff for gardening that we need, but we don't really want to be an eyesore. So it is weatherproof. I've added this right here that helps the cushions look neater. I have the before of what this actually looked like when it was in dream stage. It's always fun to watch how things come about and when they manifest, right? Give me that like to let me know that this is content that you're enjoying and you want more of. And as always, you know that you can create bliss in your garden.